So I kind of just want to talk about freedom. I don't really know what I'm going to say, but something inside of me just wants to talk about freedom. Especially because I was thinking a lot about the fact that there are so many people who are spending their years in trying to find the right teaching that will get rid of their suffering. And I really, in this video I'm probably just going to talk about how I got out of my suffering. And there are some insights that I've had that maybe a lot of people aren't ready for, but it was really getting me out of the suffering. So I'm just going to share this. A lot of people's egos are so big that they believe that they have to go the direct path. You know, the path of non-duality, where you're instantly realizing that there is no self. And then they believe that. But they're still angry, they're still sad, still grieving, still bitterness there. But at least the spiritual ego knows that there is no self. And I was also talking about this, and still am talking about this, that there is no self, because that's a fact, that there is no real self. But just knowing this on an intellectual level doesn't free you out of your suffering. It doesn't help. And the ego likes to have the short answer. That's the problem. When the ego says I'm suffering, or it's just the nervous system that's reporting to the mind, to the brain, I'm suffering, I need to do something about it. Naturally, we try to avoid pain and search for a teacher or a solution that gives us the thing, And wait a minute. So then there are teachers and teachings that say you don't have to practice. For example, Rupert Spira, Krishnamurti. There are more that say that there's direct realization that will end suffering immediately. And the ego says, that's amazing, because I can have it immediately right now. And something in me just shifted. It's like I'm no longer really subscribing to that. Because I understand now that in today's world, a lot of people's nervous system are so agitated that they cannot just simply reside in the beingness until suffering is just melting. It's not enough. It doesn't have any power on them. They need to have a practice. They need to have a practice, like having a focal point. But the ego is like, there is a direct path. If I'm just realizing this one thing, then I'm immediately going to be free. And they don't have it, they don't get it, and they keep searching, they keep reading books and watching videos about non-duality, this direct realization, kind of hoping for a magical moment where things just become and everything's fine, but it doesn't happen. And they spent their years and decades in order to find something that should come immediately. They're trying to have the easy way, but they end up spending decades of their lives to understand that easy way. And the nervous system is just like, nah, it's not that easy. The highest meditation isn't always the meditation that you need. In the end, when your nervous system is calm and the waves on the ocean are a little bit calmer, then it's easy to just reside in the beingness. But it's totally okay to just do breath meditation. You see, because the thing that makes you suffer is your belief in your thoughts. Probably already know that, either through direct experience or through intellectual knowledge. Because every spiritual teacher tells you that if you believe in your thoughts, you're going to suffer, and you're also going to manifest what you're thinking about. So the thoughts are not the problem, but your belief in the thoughts is the problem. So, but what if you don't have a focal point that will direct your attention away from thoughts so that you don't believe in them? What's going to happen is you're just going to be here, and thoughts are going to happen. And one thought is going to validate the other thought, and then they're going to add up, and then your nervous system is going to be even more agitated, and it doesn't feel like there's no sense of stability in you. And people who have a cooked nervous system, they need to have that sense of stability first. So when a thought comes, and you notice that you're thinking, then it's totally okay to just say, or not say, but go to the breath or to the sensation of hands and be there. Don't force it, just be aware that you have hands, be aware that you are breathing. And then the thought comes back and says something about him or her, blah, 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 blah. And then notice it and go back to the breath. That's a very simple practice. And a lot of direct path teachers say that you don't need to have a practice, you can just go the direct path. And I've grown in my spiritual maturity so much so that I can say that I cannot subscribe to this idea anymore. By being aware of your focal point, your mind is going to be more still, but at the same time, physical sensations and emotions that are stored in the nervous system are totally free to come up. So what can happen is you're going to all of a sudden become very angry. If you were going to listen to your thoughts, they're going to have an excuse for that. They're going to make you think that you have a good reason to be angry. But if you're on a focal point, then you're just going to have the sensation, and therefore it can be released. So, and a lot of people who do not have such a hurt nervous system, they are able to just be and relax in the beingness and just be like that. And then you will realize that there is no center, there's no I, there's no sense of control, and you're totally swimming in love and oxytocin. Not always, of course, but it's an experience that you can have. But for a lot of people, especially in today's world, where people have an agitated mind, it can be necessary to be aware of your breath first and do this meditation every day, regularly, to then calm your nervous system down, and then you can reside in your beingness. It's going to be easier. It's a pathway that a lot of people have to go, but a lot of people are, instead of doing this, they think, I want to go the direct path. I want grace to give me this or that thing, this event of becoming free immediately, just like Eckhart Tolle was experiencing this. He was sad and mad and depressed and stuff like that, and then he fell asleep and he woke up and he was enlightened. It's not going to happen to everybody. But a lot of teachers are teaching in a way that makes you believe that they are trying to make you someone like Eckhart Tolle, who's just going to all of a sudden be totally free immediately, but it's not working like that always. So, and just, what I like to do is I am just sitting down when I want to rest and meditate and calm my nervous system. I'm sitting down and I'm becoming aware of my breath. It's not hard for me anymore to stay with the breath. The thoughts do not distract me so much as they did in the past. But I like to stay with the breath. It's just a good sensation to be with, and I know that if I'm being distracted by thoughts, then I can just go back to the breath. It's a good practice to do. But after 3 or 5 minutes, I just let go of the breath and I'm just being. And there's no practice, there's no focus, there's no focal point, and it feels good. But of course, if your mind is still so agitated, then that's not going to be a freeing experience for you. It's just the mind will just become crazy. So it's not for everyone. Both paths are valid for two different kinds of people who are on two different kinds of stages. You know. But the main thing is that you shouldn't believe your thoughts. Find your own way on how you're going to do this. A lot of people, they're just walking, and as they're walking, they're aware of the smell. They're aware of feet. And, I'm sorry. So a lot of people find their own way on how they can become aware of the present moment. So you don't have to become aware of the breath. You can just also just walk around outside and become aware of the sensation of your feet, as you're walking. So the main thing here is to not be distracted by the stories in your head, because believing in the stories in your head that's exactly what creates the ego. And that's exactly what makes the nervous system perpetuate and strengthen its own suffering. And the way out of the suffering is to do something that will no longer make you believe in the thoughts. And when you are successful with that, then you can let go, because the nervous system feels safe, and then simple beingness is enough to just rest in a state of letting go. So ask yourself and be honest with yourself, what do you need right now? Are you on a stage where you can just rest in beingness? Or if you're honest with yourself, do you need a practice? And if you feel in your body that there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of negativity still after years of watching non-duality videos, then just you might consider that you should just do a practice for at least 3 days and see what happens. Because when you're aware of your breath and the mind becomes more still, then you will see that it's actually not you that is aware of breath, but breath is just something that's happening in this open awareness, and you will see that actually there's actually nobody here. It's not a separate someone that's looking at breath. It's just open awareness in which breath happens and everything else too. But this awareness is no longer so identified with thoughts. But you will see. You have to have your own experience with this. So I wanted to share this. This will give you actual freedom, like nirvana. You will have a space, you will find a space in yourself that is always out of the matrix. So you can be in the matrix, but you're not, actually your heart is not in the matrix. You're free, but you're still choosing to participate, but you're free.